They thought they could take my land, fencing it, marking it, and calling it community property. But they didn't know the man they were stealing from wrote the very laws they were breaking. My ranch sprawled across 1,700 acres of untouched land, oak groves, rolling hills, and a river that cut through the heart of the valley. It was my sanctuary after 20 years on the bench. I'd spent a lifetime judging land disputes, but I never thought I'd face one myself. It began with a letter from the Clearview Hills HOA, a suburban association nearly 10 miles from my property line. It read, "Due to jurisdictional expansion, portions of your land are now subject to HOA management and taxation." I almost laughed until surveyors showed up on my southern fence line with heavy equipment and bright orange stakes. Within a week, they'd erected signs claiming HOA Nature Preserve, private access only. They thought I wouldn't fight back. They thought I was just another rancher. But they didn't realize I was Judge Nathan Hale, senior presiding judge of the county. And this time, I wasn't in the courtroom for anyone else's case but mine. I gathered my evidence meticulously. Historic land deeds dating back to 1883, tax documents, and aerial maps showing the HOA's boundary violations. I filed a civil action for land theft, fraudulent jurisdiction, and trespass. At the first hearing, the HOA's attorney swaggered in with confidence. Until I stood up from the plaintiff's table, the courtroom went quiet. You're Judge Hale?" he stammered. I nodded. "And today, you'll learn what justice actually looks like." I laid out every document, every map, every falsified plat they'd filed with the county. Then came the kicker. Video footage from my ranch cameras showing their surveyors cutting my barbed wire and trespassing past private property signs. The ruling was swift and devastating. The HOA was fined $2.4 million for damages, forced to remove every post, and barred from operating within 2 miles of my property. Their president was personally charged for fraudulent filings. Weeks later, I stood on my porch as the last of their signs were torn down. The wind carried the scent of dust and victory across my land. In the end, justice didn't just favor me. It reminded the HOA that some lines you just don't cross, especially not when the man on the other side draws those lines for a living.